Today we're going to be continuing our looks at the King Shark Collect and Connect wave from the DC Comics Multiverse, as we have a look today at the Batman Super Heavy Jim Gordon Batman. For King Shark, he gets himself one of the legs for the Collect and Connect figure, which actually looks very, very nicely done. I love the bleached sort of design of the jeans here that he's sporting. We're going to go ahead and just take that and add it to, very easily, add it to the leg here of King Shark. Still got another leg to go, another 2 arms, and we'll finish up King Shark. Don't worry, a review of him will be separate, and we'll finish off after we have a look at all these other multiverse figures. The Jim Gordon Batman does come with a blaster. I've gone ahead and already put it into the holster section here. It just fits. Let me just move his arm out of the way. The holster, or blaster, I should say, fits very easily into the holster. And we can pull it out. And it fits in either of his hands, as both hands are partially gripping hands. So we just fit those right into place. Fits very easily, and no real issues with the hands holding them. Don't believe me? Okay, well, all right, fine. We'll put it in the other hand as well. This one actually, to be fair, is a little harder to fit the blaster in place, but you can see he holds it very easily. One of the other accessories that comes with the Jim Gordon Batman is the alternate head sculpt. Let's bring the camera back a little bit. The alternate head sculpt featuring a mohawked Jim Gordon. We can go ahead and take the head off of Batman here, which actually, one of the more difficult aspects. We just pop that off and replace it with the Jim Gordon head. I'm not crazy of the fact that they went with a white peg. I don't know, something about it makes me apprehensive that that joint is going to break over time. And actually, it's a little bit more difficult to peg that into place. Just wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. There we go, there we go, there we go. Don't have it on completely, but there he is with the alternate head sculpt, which I like, but I mean, I'm not married to this head sculpt in no shape or form. I may date it for a little bit, but no intention of a serious settle-down relationship do I have with this head sculpt. I much more favored the Batman head sculpt. I think generally, unless it's like a Bruce Wayne, there we go, unless it's a Bruce Wayne head sculpt, which is really good, I'm usually just going back to a default Batman head sculpt, which I quite like because he's got a bit of a grimace going on there. Especially with the multiverse figures, you don't tend to get a lot of Batman that have grimaced faces. He's aged, he looks a little just, like I said, a little more grimaced than a conventional Batman. I like the shape of his ears too, as a good contrast differencing to what we normally get with Batman. Coloring wise, he's basically very, very dark black, making up majority of his colors. And then he's got yellow accents here on his shoulder. Of course, the new bat emblem for this particular Batman, and of the yellow belt there. A little bit of area of gray, just you got the gray band around his leg, which surprisingly enough is actually a sculpt rather than paint. They could have just gone in there, painted that in, but they ended up sculpting that in, which was quite nice. Even like the utility belt, for the most part, is pretty clean. I mean, generally yellows, that's always a no-no color, but it did actually turn out pretty good. There's the back of it right there. And this sits loose. It doesn't look like, it looks like there's just a little bit of glue that's affixing it, keeping it kind of in place in the center. But the rest of it is free floating. I like this Batman, but I don't feel like it really conveys the shape of the Commissioner Gordon Batman, which I think feels he's much more lankier looking Batman. This one fits kind of the same style of build as what we normally get from the multiverse figures. So like he has a very average looking build. I'm probably going to want to pick up like the I think it was the Icons Commissioner Gordon Batman, which I think had really a much cooler looking build to him than just the tried and true go-to that Mattel ended up going with here. Poseability on Batman, he has, of course, your rotations on the arms. You're starting differently here. Rotation on the arms, those hinge out. You know, rotation bicep, single hinged elbow, hand, ball joint head, didn't forget that. Your crunch, waist swivel, all that stuff, the splits, you know. Now, actually, his swivel on the thigh is lower, probably because of this leg here being underneath the strap. Maybe they didn't want to have the hinge up here. He's also got the hinged knee, and finally in the foot, got the peg holes. Doesn't come with a display stand. I cheated. I actually just used DC Universe stand. But standing-wise, he doesn't have any issues. No problems whatsoever getting this guy to stand properly. I like the coloring. I like the contrast of the yellow to the black. I mean, that's more like deconstructing the design of this Batman. It's not necessarily the figure itself. The figure's okay, but just missing the build aspect of it, like the slender sleekness. Like I don't feel like comic-wise, the Commissioner Gordon Batman had this build. It was a little bit more, again, a little bit more streamlined than the tried and true here. As it goes for a multiverse figure, it's not bad. It has everything it needs to do, and paint as a plus at least is clean on this figure, so I don't really have any issues with that. Yellow, yellow, geez, that can always be bad. But yellow worked actually pretty good in this figure. Overall, I'm happy with the figure. Could have been better, but from the scope of a multiverse figure, it's pretty good. Today we were checking out and continuing our looks at the King Shark Wave, and we were looking today at the Jim Gordon Batman, which I probably will not be, oops, not dropping him. I will definitely not likely be going and displaying him with this head sculpt, just my own personal preference. If you guys like what you saw in this video and you haven't subscribed to this channel, what are you doing? Go and subscribe to this channel. Be part of this. So not only are you seeing these videos, but you're also not missing a beat when it comes to the new videos that we're going to be that I'm going to be uploading on this channel regularly. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.